Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear and the video is clear, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Welcome to the 35th lecture of Economics and Social Issues. ESI, we all know, play a very important role in RBI Grade B as well as NABARD Grade A examination. ESI is important for phase 2 of RBI and both phase 1 and phase 2 of NABARD. We have been running this series of lectures so that we can help you prepare for this section. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear and the video is clear and we are ready to go ahead in this 35th lecture of ESI series, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. I'm sorry I have been a little late. I'm very sorry about that. I request all of you to please be kind enough to give me a confirmation in the comment section that the audio is clear and the video is clear. Chaliye, let us see. Shweta Singh, right? You are there. Everybody else who is present in the live chat, I request all of you to please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. So the thing is that stay home, stay safe, stay online. Coronavirus pandemic is not yet over. The vaccine is not yet available. So do not put yourself out in the harm's way, right? Keep yourself safe, keep yourself guarded. That is what I would like to say to you. We have launched a good number of courses for your preparation, RBI as well as SEBI as well as NABARD preparation. These courses are available on our app. You can download the app. You should download the app and use it. Visit the website, visit the, call us and be joining with us for these courses. We are running an all India mock test series for you for SEBI Grade A preparation. We are running paper 2 ka mock tests. So the schedule has been placed in front of you. 29th of November, 6th of December, 20th of December, 27th December, 3rd January and 10th January. In very exam oriented style, we are conducting these tests for you. You have to come prepared at 10 a.m. on these dates and you have to participate in these mock tests. A very good number of students are participating in these mock tests. So when you participate, you will be able to gauge how well you are prepared. You will be able to understand, how good your rank is, how good your score is, what was the difficulty level, what are the chinks in your armory, where is it that you should be focusing your attention more on. So all those things will get cleared if you participate in these mock tests. These are free. You should participate in these mock tests. We have also launched a SEBI master course for you in which we are providing 5,000 plus high quality new MCQs to you. The important words are 5,000 high quality new MCQs. Practice is very important. It is one thing to read the syllabus. It is another thing to solve questions based upon that syllabus. So we are providing you sectional tests, full length tests, all kind of tests for this paper, which is going to be very helpful in your preparation. Economics, accounts, finance, company law, management, costing, everything gets taken care of and you'll be able to score very good marks in the examination if you're practicing well, if you're doing everything right in this course. So participate in this course as well. And a very good news to you, we are offering a 50% discount on our SEBI course. So SEBI Grade A 2020, if that is your dream, we are providing 50% off on topper recommended courses, because these are the toppers who have used our courses and have gained from those courses and have been able to clear a rank using these courses, and the same course is being made available to you at a 50% discount. So you should take advantage of this opportunity. I have been requesting students to answer homework questions that I provide at the end of every lecture. Ishita Tripathi, Komal Prajapat, as well as Lubna Abid, Nilesh Suryavanshi, Priya Goswami, Chinmoy Saikia, Abin K, Deepika Pareva, Harshvardhan, Durlabh Raghuvanshi, Tanya Chuk, Priya Gairi and Kiran Gondwal. You have been answering my homework questions on a fairly regular basis. I am very sure that you will reap the dividend of this consistency. Consistency is the prerequisite for success. Keep that in mind. I request you that please answer homework questions that I am going to provide at the end of this session. The first question has been placed in front of you. Today we are going to have a short and sweet session. I am going to place 5 MCQs in front of you, and through those MCQs I am not only going to test your knowledge, but I am going to provide an important orientation to you as to how you should prepare so far as ESI is concerned, so far as ESI static is concerned. So I am going to place 5 questions first in front of you. Then we are going to discuss theory related to those 5 questions, and then we are going to again solve those 5 questions, see the answers. So you will have 2 choices. First, you can answer whatever your knowledge is, then you can gain the complete knowledge, and then you can answer again. Thereafter, we'll be looking at some homework questions, and throughout the lecture, I am going to give you some kind of orientation which will actually help you in the examination. चलिए, दीपिका पारेवा, Nilesh Suryavanshi, Shweta Singh, Ankit Satpathy, good evening to all of you. I hope that you all are able to view the session. I hope that you all are able to view the question that has been placed in front of you. I request you to please be kind enough to answer this question which has been placed. Which of the following is not a member of SAARC? So the first answer that has come is that of Nilesh Suryavanshi, who has said that the answer to this question is B. So let us see. Let us keep the answers pending for the timing. Let us first see the 5 questions and understand certain important ideas based upon this. See, now the idea is that in our RBI and in NABARD papers, they can ask you these kind of questions. There is a topic called as regional economic partnerships, regional cooperation agreements, and so on and so forth, right? So based upon those regional economic cooperation agreements, questions can be expected. Right now, SAARC is one of the regional economic cooperation agreement or a framework or some kind of an organization that India is a part of. Therefore, they can ask you questions based on SAARC, and multiple types of questions can be asked based on SAARC. The first question that I have placed in front of you is, which of the following is not a member of SAARC? So now what you have to learn from this is that if you are coming across any such body, SAARC or BIMSTEC or BRICS, or let us say your International Solar Alliance, or let us say your Shanghai Cooperation Organization, you should know who are members of these organizations, or who are members of this partnership, or who are members of these groupings. That is very, very important. You should know the members of these organizations / groupings / partnerships. The next question is, SAARC is headquartered where? So this is again a very classical kind of question. What you should learn from this question: first of all, you should obviously tell me where SAARC is headquartered. Second of all, you should also be able to tell me, or rather you should also be able to appreciate that, okay, if a particular organization is being talked about in the news, or a particular organization has been mentioned as a part of your syllabus, you should know where it is headquartered. You should know where its secretariat is. If the secretariat has been newly established, then you should surely know it. If the secretariat has been established somewhere in India, then you should surely know it. Similar kind of understanding has to be utilized while reading about conferences in current affairs of ESI. For instance, in ESI, let us say that you are reading that, this conference has happened here, or this conference has happened there, and this was discussed in the conference and that was discussed in the conference. So be very mindful to note where the conference was held, because if it is an important conference, then you should know where it was held, because that can be asked to you in the examination. I see that many students are very confidently giving the answer as Kathmandu. The next question is, which of the following countries is not a member of ASEAN? So now the typology is clear to you. What I mean by typology is that yes, these kind of questions or these types of questions are asked in the examination. There is no doubt in your mind right now. So whether it is ASEAN, or whether it is BIMSTEC, or whether it is RCEP, or whether it is TPP, or any of these partnerships, or any of these important agreements which are mentioned in news prominently, आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि उसके member कौन है. Now you need to tell me कि who is not a member of ASEAN? Cambodia, Myanmar, Brunei, China, Laos. See, the good thing is that so far as our EduTap का course is concerned, we have provided you complete coverage of the syllabus. What we have done is that we have provided you more than 20 plus chapters, right, for your RBI and NABARD so far as ESI is concerned. And in each chapter, we have provided you videos, handouts, MCQs, quiz, summaries, right? Everything has been provided to you. We have a very, very vibrant doubt discussion forum whereby you can raise your doubts, and your doubts will be cleared by none other than me, because I teach you ESI. So let us say that for that matter, finance is taught by Anchit sir. So all your doubts of finances are answered by Anchit sir. All your doubts of ESI are answered by me. So the faculty who is teaching you is also the faculty who is answering your doubts on a very regular basis. So it cannot happen that your doubts will go unanswered. You can come in touch with us, you can call us, you can speak with us, you can mail us, and you can speak with us. In fact, if you want to speak with Anchit sir, just drop a mail and say that you want to speak with Anchit sir. You want to speak with Deepak sir, just drop a mail and say that you want to speak with Deepak sir. The idea is that the platform that we have created is such that we want you to clear the examination, and we want to do everything so that you can clear the examination. The next question is again a different kind of question. What is the full form of ASEAN? So these full form business is very, very highly scoring. They ask you questions that what is the full form of this and what is the full form of that. You should know the full forms, right? As I keep repeating, whenever I discuss whenever I have a strategy call with any student, I always ask them to note down all the numbers together, all the places together, all the names together, all the full forms together, so that the revision can become easier, the revision can become smooth. So what is the full form of ASEAN? It is a very simple question for those who know it, and it may be a challenging question for those of us who are like, really new timers and really fresh beginners who have absolutely no idea about it. But whether we are new or old, it is important that we be well prepared. So please tell me the full form of ASEAN. Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Administration of Southern East Asian Nations, Organization of Southeast Asian Nations, Administration of Southeast Asian Nations, or none of the above. I'm expecting many students to give the right answer over here, and many students have quite quite obviously they have given the right answer over here. Moving ahead to the fifth question. Which of the following statements is/are correct regarding BIMSTEC? Now this is a little bit of a challenging question, because now what is happening is that if you look at the previous 4 questions, they were not challenging you. Who is a member, who is not a member, where is the headquarters, what is the full form. So it was a very unidimensional, very one factor kind of a question. Now this is a multi-factor question in the sense that you have to decide based on 3 statements that what is your answer. It includes 5 countries from South Asia and 2 from ASEAN. Is this statement correct? So you should know the exact membership of BIMSTEC, and then you should know that okay, 5 countries are from South Asia and 2 countries are from the ASEAN bloc. You should surely know whether this statement is correct or not. It was formed in 1997. You should again surely know whether this is right or not. It has a permanent secretariat established in Dhaka. All of the above statements are correct, none of the above statements are correct. So now over here the challenge is that either any statement individually can be correct, let us say A can be an answer, or B can be an answer, or C can be an answer. All of them can be wrong, in which case E can be the answer. All of the statements can be correct, in which case D can be the answer. We have this tendency sometimes to answer always D in these kind of questions, and that can be very, very risky strategy in the examination. Be very careful in the examination. Fifth question ka answer, Om Prakash has given as E, Nilesh Suryavanshi, Harsh and Deepika Pariva has given as D, Jitendra Verma has given as A, Ankhi Satpathy has given fifth ka answer as D. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the entire theory related to these 3 important regional economic cooperations in front of you. Mind you, as a part of our course, we have covered approximately 12 or 15 regional economic cooperations. That means that we have given a very, very broad coverage of regional economic cooperation. As a part of this lecture, I have brought 3 important regional economic cooperations in front of you. Please pick up your notebooks, please pick up some pen and paper and quickly write down the important data that I am presenting in front of you. Now, so far as SAARC is concerned, the full form is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. It has 8 members countries, right? It was founded in 1985 in Dhaka. So both these facts are important. You should know the exact number of countries, you should know the exact year in which it was formed and where it was formed. It has a secretariat based in Kathmandu. It had 7 founders. So 7 countries were the founder members of SAARC. You should know the names of these member countries. The names are Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. This is what you should note. Afghanistan joined in 2007. So Afghanistan is not a founder member. So they can ask you, they can give you 5 options and they can ask you that who is not a founder member. Now that may be a little tricky to attempt if you don't exactly know it. That is why I am precisely telling you that in these particular cases you should be very, very sure about your knowledge. Now this is very important factual information related to SAARC that I have placed in front of you. Now the idea is that I have not discussed why SAARC was formed or what SAARC wants to do and all of those things, because that is so common across various regional economic cooperations that obviously these cooperations have been created so that we can cooperate. Obviously we want to trade. Obviously we want to make it easier for people to move. Obviously we want to make it easier for vehicles to move. Obviously we want to participate or cooperate in healthcare, cooperate in education, cooperate in technical assistance, cooperate in disaster management, cooperate in climate change, cooperate in combating terrorism and blah 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 blah. The point is that you don't need to go into all of that. What you should be knowing so far as our exams is concerned, you should be surely knowing these factual data points, because that is where the most probability of question is being there. Now let us say that there is something which is happening in current affairs, okay, that related to ASEAN some development has taken place. So that EduTap covers as a part of its Beautiful Current Affairs magazine. So we have Beautiful Current Affairs magazine 2 per month, which covers the entire required current affairs for these examination. So you should become a part of our course so that you can access these Beautiful Current Affairs magazines. Now so far as ASEAN is concerned, we have 10 member countries as a part of ASEAN, which was created in 1967 through Bangkok Declaration. So for SAARC you have to note 1985, for ASEAN you have to note 1967. For SAARC there were 8 members, for ASEAN there are 10 members, right? The secretariat of your ASEAN is located in Jakarta, Indonesia. So again, you must compare. That is why I tell you that you should have, you should have a diary in which you should write all the names or the places together. So in your diary, you can write Kathmandu dash SAARC secretariat. Uske niche you can write Jakarta dash your ASEAN secretariat. This is what you need to do. You have to be very organized in, compiling your knowledge together so that it becomes easier for you you to revise it on multiple occasions and go well prepared in the examination. There were 5 founders. So there were 7 founders of SAARC. There are 5 founders of ASEAN, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand, right? Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar and Cambodia joined in later. ASEAN plus 3 is ASEAN ki 10 countries plus China, Japan and South Korea. What is ASEAN plus 3? It is a cooperation framework. So ASEAN wants to cooperate with its neighboring countries so that regional economic cooperation can truly take place. So ASEAN plus 3 is basically a cooperation framework between ASEAN and 3 of its close neighbors, that is China, Japan and South Korea. ASEAN plus 6 is nothing but cooperation between ASEAN and 6 of its neighbors, in the sense that there are 3 near neighbors, that is China, Japan and South Korea, and then there are 3 farther neighbors, that is, let us say, Australia, New Zealand and India. So ASEAN plus 6 is a cooperation framework between ASEAN and 6 of their free trading agreement ke partners. And what is the motto of ASEAN? One vision, one identity, one community. They can always ask you, they can give you the motto. Let us say that ASEAN was prominently in news just before your examination. Therefore, they can give you the motto of ASEAN, or they can ask you what is the motto of ASEAN, and you should know. So these are the most important factual data points regarding ASEAN which are never going to change, and this is something that you should surely know. Moving ahead to BIMSTEC, please note the full form of BIMSTEC. It is a very difficult full form in my opinion. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, right? So it has 7 members totally, 5 from South Asia, 2 from Southeast Asia, right? So which are the 5 South Asian members I'm going to tell you, but before that you should note that this was created in 1997. So now you see the difficulty over here. See, you have to remember 1967. Why? Because that is the founding year of ASEAN. You have to remember 1985. Why? Because it is the founding year of SAARC. You have to remember 1997. Why? Because it is founding year of BIMSTEC. Now this is absolutely very difficult for absolutely any human being to just randomly remember these numbers, which is precisely why I say that you should note down all the numbers together, right? So if you were to be kind enough to note 1967 dash year of formation of ASEAN, uske niche 1985 year of formation of SAARC, uske niche 1997 year of formation of BIMSTEC. So what will happen is कि खाने के पहले एक बार, खाने के बाद एक बार, सोने के बाद, if you keep revising that list, right, the way we take medicine, तो वो list आपको याद हो जाएगी, and it will become easier for you to go into the examination with a lot of confidence and with a lot of knowledge, right? So BIMSTEC got created in 97. What is BIMSTEC? Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka and Thailand economic cooperation. Then Myanmar joined, then that became BIMSTEC. Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand and economic cooperation, it became BIMSTEC. Nepal and Bhutan will join in 2004, and the name will be changed to Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. And what is it that we are trying to do? We are trying to cooperate with each other on technical and economic lines. The permanent secretariat is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. So again, you should appreciate why I keep saying repeatedly that have all the places together. It will become very difficult. These are only 3 places. Just imagine that if there are 100 places that you want to remember before the examination, because that will help you in GA, that will help you in ESI, right? But how will you remember? So you have to become organized. So write down all the places together, right? So for Secretariat of SAARC is Kathmandu, Secretariat of ASEAN is Jakarta, Secretariat of BIMSTEC is Dhaka. That is how you have to be organized, and if you are organized, you will be able to perform well in the examination. Now you have to solve these questions again. Which of the following is not a member of SAARC? So you should be able to surely type in the comment section, not your answer, but all the 8 members of SAARC you have to type in the comment section. You have to challenge yourself. आपको memory को strong करना पड़ेगा, चाहे बादाम खा के, चाहे revision करके, choice is yours. But memory को तो आपको strong करना ही पड़ेगा हमारे exams के अंदर अच्छा performance देने के लिए. So please be kind enough to type out all the 8 members of SAARC, right? 7 founder members and the one who joined later. Type the name of all 8 members of SAARC in the comment section. I am requesting all of you to do that. I am going to wait 10-15 seconds for you to do that. Harsh, Jitendra Verma, Anki Satpati, Deepika Pareva, Om Prakash, I request all of you to please be kind enough to do as I am asking you to do. Type out all the names over here. The answer to this question is B, Mauritius, but I am waiting for you to tell me all the 8 members of SAARC. Moving ahead to the next question. SAARC is headquartered where? you don't only have to tell me the headquarters of SAARC, but you also tell me where is the Secretariat of ASEAN located and where is the Secretariat of BIMSTEC located. You have to give me the entire information over here and not just the answer to this question. The answer to this question is A, Kathmandu. Please type out the answer. So Harsh, you have been kind enough to type out India, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Maldives. Thank you very much, Harsh. I request all of you to do the same. Which of the following countries is not a member of ASEAN? So you have to tell me all the 10 members of ASEAN. Don't just tell me the answer to this question. Tell me all the 10 members of ASEAN. Similarly, tell me all the 7 members of BIMSTEC also, right? Just type out the name of all the 7 members. Nilesh Suryavanshi, you have also been kind enough to answer Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pak, Sri Lanka, right? All right. All right. Thank you very much for your active participation. The answer to this question is D, China. Please be kind enough to type out the name of all 10 members of ASEAN, all 7 members of BIMSTEC as well. Moving ahead, what is the full form of ASEAN? The answer to this question is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Type out the full form of BIMSTEC, okay? Because I told you that it is a relatively difficult full form to remember. Please be kind enough to type out the full form of BIMSTEC over here. The next question that I had placed in front of you, which of the following statements is/are correct regarding BIMSTEC? It includes 5 countries from South Asia, 2 from ASEAN. This is correct. The grouping was formed in 1997. This is correct. It has a permanent secretariat established in Dhaka. This is correct. Therefore, the right answer to this question is D, China. D, all of the above. I am so sorry, right? So this is how you have to approach. These are very, very factual chapters. These are very, very, very objective chapters, you may say, and you have to approach them in that manner to be able to perform well in the examination. Now, moving ahead, I am going to discuss the homework that I had given to you for lecture number 24. Now, if you will be able to see the contrast between the questions that I am going to place in front of you now and the questions that we were just discussing, you will appreciate the duality in the nature of these examinations. Let me place the questions in front of you and make it clear what am I trying to say. Now, you have to define inflation spiral. I'm asking you to define inflation spiral. And I'm prepared to wait for 30 seconds. Why? Because in these 30 seconds, I'm going to explain certain important ideas related to our exam to you. See, the idea is that I get many strategy calls, right? And in those strategy calls, many students say that they are pretty strong on economics. They have an economics background, but they are not very sure whether they will be able to perform well in RBI NABARD examination. So I ask why. So they say that, you know, many of the questions that are asked in these examinations, they are based upon rote learning. They are based absolutely upon facts. They are based absolutely upon logic. So had the questions been based more on understanding, had the questions been more conceptual in nature, so these students would have been able to perform well, but the nature of the questions is objective. That is why they are struggling. Now the point is that you cannot choose your opposition. You cannot choose the way your opposition is going to behave. You have to be prepared to deal with your opposition the way it is. Now, what is your opposition in this case? The opposition in this case is the examiner, right? Now, whatever may be the nature of the question that are being asked in the examination, whether that is absurd, whether that is okay, whether that is superb, whether that is factual or whether that is conceptual, you have to be able to answer it. Now, what is inflation spiral? It is a continuous rise in prices that is sustained by the tendency of wage increases and cost increases to react on each other. What is the meaning of this? Please understand the meaning. In the first decade of this century in India, we saw that there was a consistent increase in minimum wages that were getting paid through Manrega, right? So Manrega wages were increasing. When Manrega wages is increasing, people's purchasing power is increasing because they are having more money in their hand. When they can spend more money, they can create demand. When they are creating demand, because of the demand, there is a further increase in prices. Because of further increase in prices, there is further pressure upon the government to further increase the minimum wages. Government further increases the minimum wages. Because of that, the prices again get increased because there is further demand. So what we are seeing is essentially that there is some kind of a spiral going on. Now, if you look at the definition of inflation spiral over here, what they say is that wage has increased. So let us say that I am a worker in your factory, and let us say that instead of paying me X, you're paying me 2X. Okay. So your wage bill has doubled, your labor cost has doubled, therefore your production expenses has doubled. So probably you will try to increase the cost of your product. The moment you try to increase the cost of your product, what essentially has happened is that your product has become costlier, and product becoming costlier is equals to inflation. Now the product has become costlier, so I'll come back to you and tell you that see, the general level of prices in the market has increased, so I need a further wage increase, because otherwise I will not be able to maintain my standard of living. So you're again giving me a wage increase, right? But giving me a wage increase means your production cost is increasing. Therefore, again, since your production cost is increased, your product cost will increase. Again, since your product cost has increased, so prices will increase. So that is precisely what inflation is all about. So the idea is that if this kind of a tendency is happening, that inflation is spiraling upwards, that is the meaning of inflation spiral. What is inflation accounting? Now, if you see, these are absolutely conceptual questions. Absolutely conceptual questions. They can just ask you that what is the meaning of inflation spiral, and they can give you 5 definitions, or they can give you a definition. They can ask you what is the term which is encapsulating this definition. Either which ways they can test your understanding, or they can give you a term inflation spiral and ask 2-3 questions related to that. Even that can be done. What is the meaning of inflation accounting? The meaning of inflation accounting is the practice of adjusting financial statements according to price indices. What is the meaning of this? Let me explain the meaning to you. Let us say that I am running a factory and I am having X amount of turnover and Y amount of profit. Okay. Now in 2020 I am having X amount of turnover and Y amount of profit. In 2021 I am having X amount of turnover and Y amount of profit. But the point is that in 2020, let us say that the inflation was 4%, but in 2021 the inflation is, let us say, 10%, right? So inflation has gone up from 4% to 10%, but let us say that my turnover and my profit is still that X and Y. So the idea is that the inflation has gone up means that products have become costlier, right? So if my products have become costlier, so probably I'm not producing as much as I was producing earlier. It's just that my product has become costlier, so I am being able to show you the same amount of turnover and same amount of profit in, let us say, rupee terms. But in real terms, that turnover is going to be lesser. In real terms, that profit is going to be lesser. So the idea is that accounts have to be adjusted to factor in inflation. Because inflation eats away the power of money to purchase. So the idea is that whenever we are adjusting our accounts to factor in inflation, that is basically inflation accounting. What is the meaning of deflationary gap? The meaning of deflationary gap is that it is the difference between the full employment level of output and actual output. Now you must understand what is the meaning of full employment level of output. Theoretically speaking, let us say that in India, if we are able to produce X amount of production, okay, if we are able to manufacture X amount of goods, let us say, we will be able to provide employment to everybody who needs employment in the country, right? So that X is the full employment level of output. Agar hum X level of output nikal de, if we are able to manufacture, if we are able to produce X level of output, we will be able to generate so much employment that everybody who needs employment in India, everybody who is looking for employment in India will be able to find an employment. That is the full employment level of output. This never comes. No economy is able to achieve a full employment level of output, right? The actual output may be over here. That means that we are producing lesser than we may want to produce to generate employment for everybody. Since we are producing lesser than the full employment level of output, obviously the number of employment opportunities created are going to be lesser than required. Therefore, there is going to be some amount of unemployment. This gap between the full employment level of output and actual output is known as deflationary gap. I hope that this is clear to you. What is the meaning of inflation tax? Inflation tax is the economic disadvantage suffered by holders of cash and cash equivalents in one denomination of currency due to effects of inflation, which acts as a hidden tax that subtracts value from currency. Now let me explain this definition in layman terms to you. Let us say that I am holding 1 crore. Let us say that I am holding 1 CR. Okay. Now let us say that for 10 years I am holding 1 CR. Right. Inflation this year is 4%, and let us say for every subsequent years up till the 10th year, inflation is 4%. What is the meaning of this? And also note that I am holding 1 CR for the 10 years. I'm not putting it in bank. I'm not putting it in stock market. I'm not doing anything. I'm holding cash. Okay. Now first year the inflation is 4%. Second year inflation is 4%, 4%, 4%, 4%. What does this mean? That every year the power of purchasing of money is going down by 4%, simply speaking. right? Simply speaking, power of purchase of money is going down by 4% every year because inflation is 4%. When inflation is 4%, everything is becoming expensive by 4% every year, right? So money will be able to purchase lesser every year, right? Now, if I am holding 1 crore in my hand for 10 years, right, what is essentially happening is that inflation is eating away my purchasing power. It is like a hidden tax. It is like, ultimately at the end of 10 years, my 1 crore is not going to be able to purchase what it can purchase today. So essentially what has happened is that a lot of my money has been taken away by inflation, or a lot of money has been eaten away by inflation, and that is the meaning of inflation tax. So if I will suffer because of inflation. Anybody who's holding cash or anybody who's holding cash equivalent will suffer an economic disadvantage because of inflation, because inflation will eat away the power of that money to purchase. Which is precisely why mutual fund sahi hai, which is precisely why we put money in Kisan Vikas Patra, which is precisely why we park money in government bonds, because every year we are maybe getting 6%, 7%, 8%, 9% rate of interest. So money keeps growing. So if I put my 1 crore for 10 years at, let us say, 6% interest rate in, let us say, Kisan Vikas Patra, or 7% Kisan Vikas Patra. So probably at the end of 10 years, my money will double. It will become from, let us say, it will go from 1 crore to 2 crores, right? So what will happen is that over a period of 10 years, let us say that my money has doubled, as a result of which now 2 crores has equivalent purchasing power that 1 crore has, and it will have a greater purchasing power than 1 crore if the inflation is less than the rate of interest. Let us say that I have gotten 7% rate of interest and the inflation is actually only 4% over 10 years. So my money has grown and my money has become more than 1 crore in 2020. That is the idea of inflation tax that you need to keep in mind. Similarly, there is a term called inflation premium. What is the meaning of inflation premium? It is a part of prevailing interest rate that results from lenders compensating for expected inflation by pushing nominal interest rates to higher levels. What is the meaning of this? You know that nominal real interest rate is equals to nominal interest rate minus inflation. Okay, this is a very complicated topic that we discuss as a part of our course. So this inflation premium means what? That in reality, let us say bank is charging me, let us say 10% on my home loan. Okay, but the inflation is 6%. Okay, so in reality, bank is earning a real interest rate of only 4%. Right? Now let us say that the inflation goes up from 6% to 8%. So what does the bank do? Bank can push up the nominal interest rate that it is charging me from, let us say, 10% to 12%, right? Why the bank has done that? Because inflation has gone up. Bank wants to earn 4% real interest rate. Therefore, what they have done is that they have increased my nominal interest rate. So my nominal interest rate has been increased. So the prevailing interest rate now is 12%, right? So this 2% which has been increased, so it went from 10% to 12%. So this 2% increase which has been done by banks, it has been done so that they can compensate themselves for inflation by pushing the nominal interest rates to higher levels. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look at the nature of the previous 5 questions and if you look at the nature of these 5 questions, you will be able to see a very big gulf. Previous 5 questions are very objective, they are very factual, and these are very subjective, very conceptual. You have to be prepared well to be able to face both these kind of questions in the examination. 5 questions, new homework questions have been placed in front of you. 3 are fill in the blanks, 1 is true or false, and 1 is a factual question which is asking you when was the TRIPS agreement signed. Please be kind enough to answer these questions within 1 hour of viewing this lecture. I have given you 3 questions based on definitions, 1 on true and false and 1 based on factual. I hope that this is very clear to you. With this, we'll bring this session to an end. I hope that you have learned something. I hope that you have understood how you should approach your preparation for this examination. If you have any doubts whatsoever, please do not hesitate and comment those doubts in the comment section and I'll come back with an answer to you. If you want to speak with me, you can always mail on hello@edutap.co.in and say that you want to have a strategy call with me or with Ritika ma'am or with Deepak sir or with Anchit sir or any faculty in EduTap. You can speak at any point of time. Right? Keep that in mind. Please share your scores and experience. And if you have learned something from this session, I request you to please like and share this session. Right? Priya Gairi, you missed the lecture. No problem. The lectures are recorded thanks to the technology. Nilesh Suryavanshi, thank you so much for your active and regular participation. Right? Jitendra Verma, Harsh, everybody, I request all of you to please share your experiences of participating in this session, and if you have learned something, please do consider liking and sharing this session. With this, we'll bring this session to an end. See you again on next Saturday. Prepare well for RBI examination. It is just around the corner. Thank you very much. All the very best and Jai Hind.